And we are live.
All right, great. Well, where we last left off, the party was making their way west, looking for wherever the hill giants went. They had just had a weird, I don't even know what to call it, train wreck, I guess. Trying to warn the Elven Kingdoms of a group of lesser giants that was on their way in the general direction of the Elvish Kingdoms. It didn't go well. Um, they traveled west for a while until they found what looked to be the coastline. Um, I believe Vanya did, or it might have been.
It was me. I found the footprint. Don't take away my achievements.
No, I was trying to.
I was asleep.
No, I was trying to remember if it was Vanya or Zephyr who sensed humans. Well, not humans, but humanoids nearby.
That would be
Zephyr.
the sky.
Yep. And so, Rowan got turned into a invisible giant owl in order to go scout it out. After the party set off a bunch of traps when they were trying to sneak by together. Found that it wasn't a village like they initially thought, but seemed to be a military outpost of the Elvish Kingdoms, to which were on high alert thanks to all the traps being set off. The party was able to escape notice of their search parties with the help of Rowan being a distraction before making her way back to the party. Then they continued along until they actually got to the coastline. And while camping out on the beach, don't remember who it was, but someone heard a disturbance, didn't check it out until morning. Or was it? Did you check it out? I don't remember. It's been a long week.
I don't think we.
It has.
I don't think we did, but I believe Rowan went.
I think someone checked it out at later, but not quite morning yet, because the footprint that was found, the giant-sized footprint that was found, was gone by morning. I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
So you guys started heading south along the coast, because this footprint, it was kind of hard to tell where it was going. It kind of looked like it was going into the water, but it also looked like it was heading south, so you went south. And then a couple hours later, I believe it was a locate creature spell. Notified you that there was a giant coming north along the coast. You all hid in the forest nearby and watched as a pale, sickly-looking hill giant carrying a deer, kind of wading through the shallows of the coastline, was making its way north. You thought about following it, but then Ramona decided to go out to try and talk to it, to which it turned around and started moving towards Ramona with malicious intent. And
then Rowan got
that is where we are going to pick right back up, with everybody rolling initiative once I get everybody onto the map.
Hooray.
And I'm big.
And you were between me and it.
Yes, I am.
That's right. Ramona did come running out. I know, Rowan did come running out to help Ramona.
You got it, Mike.
Right.
Believe in yourself.
Oh my god, roll 20, please load.
Like I said, long week.
Oh yeah, I did make you big. Oh my god, roll 20, please load as well.
I know, right?
I have advantage. On the one hand, I know that there's no
Josh, can we
reason
get
for this,
some,
but on the other hand, I know that statistically speaking, it's fine.
Don't worry, Brew, I got you.
Can we get some combat music?
I can't
Picking which
see
one
my
I want.
token. Weird. Let me restart roll 20. I can't see anything, actually. It's just a black screen. The fuck?
I rolled a 1.
Pretty sure I
Hooray.
turned Club Illumination on.
I
it's
still
because your
can't see
token doesn't
anything.
have sight for some reason. That's weird.
Aha! I have the best dark vision here, Mike. Why?
I blame Josh because I took these tokens off a map that Josh made.
Hey, I can see.
Can anyone else not see?
I'm good.
Fine.
I
Alright,
can
cool.
see.
Which giant?
Lest I see
Right.
the light.
See clearly
It's like
now
the
the rain
fog
is gone.
Our game is first with the revival, now with the light.
Alright, well. Xeris, you're first.
I will stay where I'm at and hold my action for if it actually starts attacking.
Alrighty. Zephyr.
Alright, I'm gonna move up. 10, 15, 28, 25. And I'm also gonna hold my action until it attacks.
What action are you holding?
Gonna be holding a thorn whip for when it tries to attack one of my allies.
Alright. And his turn. Giant is going to swing its great club at Rowan twice.
No, we can be friends.
The first one misses, however, the second one hits for 21 points of damage.
Ow!
Yep,
21?
21, yes. This big log that it's just been dragging behind it, he just swings it forward and just cracks you across your enlarged ribs. And Xeris, you can go ahead and take your ready action.
Okay, I'm gonna cast a fireball a little bit behind it so it doesn't hit any of my friends.
Alright.
Sweet, free glass.
Some good damage.
Yeah.
Ho ho!
It's because it's at 5th level, duh.
Yeah.
Because
make no
Warlock.
difference to me.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a fail of that. And then Zephyr, you can do your ready action.
Yep, rolling.
I don't see people's names on the turn order again. See Amity
Yep,
and mine.
blame
That's
Josh.
Blame Josh. At least
These are his tokens.
Pause your other
He should be
game.
3 by 3.
I'm
That's
working
more.
on it. I'm working on it. It takes time.
I'm not rushing you.
Alright.
Kinda sounds like you.
And then gets pulled closer to you. Is right there now. And he takes damage.
Alright then. I forgot that's within the size category.
Oh, never mind. He didn't get moved. I didn't see the light is technically.
Yeah, it's large or smaller, but
Alright, so no, he did not get moved. He just took damage.
Okay.
All right. And he did his attack, so that's his turn. Amity, it's your turn.
I am also gonna do a fireball.
Okay. That is also a
Alright.
yeah. Big surprise, the hill giant isn't very fast.
It's all that forward weight.
We're gonna hit him where it hurts.
All right. Would you like to move it all there, Amity?
Boop.
Okay.
Oh, and
Rowan. Oh, go ahead.
I just moved my familiar too.
Oh, okay, cool. Rowan, your turn.
I'm gonna punch it.
Okay.
And make sure this big is turned on. Big. Punch. 21.
Assuming you're moving closer.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't even realize I wasn't. My brain stopped working. But yes. Punch.
Yes, 21 hits.
I will try to stun him, which probably won't work because Constitution. But hey.
That is a stunned.
Oh!
God damn.
Punch, punch, punch. Or punch, punch. I'm not spending another key point.
All right, advantage. 13 also hits.
17?
Sorry, 17. 13's the AC, my bad.
Mhm.
Like I said, tired. All right. So that's 12 plus 12. 24 plus 13 is 37, which is exactly how many hit points it had left. How do you want to do this?
I
God damn.
don't want to kill it, I don't think.
All right, then
Seconds.
describe how you non-lethally take it down.
I non-lethally take out a giant. She's gonna while punching him since he's stunned, and then she's gonna kind of with her slightly enlarged feet, take him out at the legs and knock him over.
All right, and with a loud thump that shakes the ground under your feet, it falls to the ground unconscious.
Okay, that was surprisingly easier than I thought it was going to be.
Guess
I
I'll
think
just
he's
take
not
one of
giant.
decks off. He's not dead.
Just according to plan.
Yeah,
That did
on
not
that
seem
note,
like a plan.
Rowan turns around and stomps back over to
I think-
Ramona.
I stopped concentrating.
I shrink as I stomp back, but I stomp nonetheless. She grabs her by both her shoulders and just does the whole shaking thing, what were you thinking?
I had a. But it's okay.
It's so not okay. Don't step in between giants. Or talk to giants. Do you even speak giant? Does anyone speak giant?
I do not speak giant.
No.
Can anyone magic their way into speaking giant?
I don't have that spell.
Nope.
I just look over to Ceres. You got anything for that?
I mean, no.
Well, okay, this is awkward then. How are we going to describe to a giant to lead us to a stick when we can't speak giant?
With drawings in the sand.
Don't think that's going to work. I think
In
he's going to
that-
wake up.
perhaps
think if
they're
we're-
not very. Go ahead.
No, I think we're about to say the same thing, that if we were dealing with a slightly more intelligent kind of giant, we might be able to get away with it. But
I was
not
just
only
gonna
does this
say.
one seem very intelligent, this one seems very weak as well.
I was just gonna say, perhaps we stay out of sight. It recovers, gets back up a little bit. It's gonna be a bit groggy. It'll probably just be like, "Where the fuck did it go?" And just go back to its original path of, you know, intent.
And we just follow it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pointedly looking at Ramona, we follow it, yes.
I'm looking at the giant.
Silently follow it and not talk to it, right, Ramona?
I mean, I'm not good at being quiet.
Especially since this guy seems to be smash first, ask questions later.
Ramona, make me a perception check.
Okay.
All right. Now that the giant is not moving anymore, and you can get a better look at him, it's like sickly pale skin. You notice is actually like weirdly translucent, and you can like see like the veins in it.
Whoa,
Ew.
that's weird. I'm approaching it.
My god.
Ramona.
I swear, if that thing wakes up and grabs her by the
No,
neck,
it's fine. I
you
have
can
a
go-
plan, and it wouldn't be the first time a dead giant grabbed me.
She makes a good point.
I'll point it out. Look. It's weird.
Ew.
I'm gonna take a look. Can I see what the hell is actually wrong with this thing?
Make a nature check.
All right. Damn.
Oh shit,
Nice.
well.
All right.
Druids doing the druid things.
So as you kind of inspect the exterior of this giant, it's weird. Like it's like spongy, translucent skin gives you the kind of like a feeling that it's very reminiscent of the flesh of a jellyfish.
Ew.
Of a jellyfish.
Ugh.
I'm gonna do some further inspection. Does this thing look like? Does it seem more like an actual like living, breathing thing, or does this seem more like a different type of animal entirely?
It's definitely like a living, breathing thing. You also notice with closer inspection, that its hands and toes are webbed.
The fuck? Oh,
Alright.
guys, guess where we're going?
No.
Okay, just like I'm now assuming Zephyr's train of thought is okay, given that giants didn't used to look like this several hundred years ago, perhaps evolution happened here, an adaptation.
Maybe. That definitely seems like that possibly what could have happened.
Interesting that it still hunts on land.
Can I see if it's slightly amphibious in nature?
Yeah, keeping the same nature check, you can see that it does also seem to have gills.
Oh,
Okay, so I'll just be like to the group, this is an amphibious giant.
that's very odd.
Yeah, this thing hunts on land and in water.
Hmm.
We're gonna have a harder time being stealthy in the water. That's for sure.
This is a really weird continent, you guys.
I don't like it here.
Me neither.
Perhaps, let's see, this thing is amphibious in nature. It might have a lair or a place of residence close to land where it can get deer and stuff, but also be able to access the water. So it lines up with our smallest giant found a cave.
Have we passed by where the footprint was?
No, you didn't follow it at all. You traveled for like maybe an hour before you ran into it, and then you
Oh, right, we kept going.
hid in the trees, and then waited for it to go by before Ramona jumped out.
Was he going back the way? Oh, sorry. Was he going back towards the way we had found the footprint, or away from the footprint? Towards, or...
He was going north, which was where the footprint was.
Okay. I say we just let him wake up again, and we won't be here, and he can go.
Yeah, stay out of sight, let it wake up, and resume its normal course of action.
Okay, what are we going to do if it goes into the ocean? We don't have a way of tracking it. Anything we turn into might consider prey. If you attack it, it's going to instantly die.
Hmm.
I don't see what options we have for successfully following this creature.
I mean, in the ocean, not a good course.
If it starts to go in the water, I could try to put it asleep so it doesn't.
Yeah, and then it
And then
drowns
we can
underwater.
plan again.
I mean, it's not going to drown. It can breathe underwater,
Right.
so...
Right, right. Forgot about that
telling
part.
me a fish is going to drown.
I mean, fish can drown, though.
On land.
Yeah. But when you can breathe both, I'm sure you're not going to drown or suffocate.
It's more like asphyxiation or smothering, but that's a whole different subject.
Okay, let's stay focused. How are we going to be that is the most complicated issue at hand?
I did not prep for being able to traverse underwater. Or is you guys being able to do it?
Because honestly, if we know we need to go underwater now, we can make the assumption. Swim around for a bit and see if we find what we're looking for.
No thanks.
I mean, I could turn into something amphibious and do some looking.
If you were small enough, you might escape its notice. You could follow it that way. And then just there next day.
Keep in mind, I would only be able to do it 5 hours at a time.
I doubt this creature is more than a 5-hour swim away.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 each way. If it hunts on land, its lair must be within
Mm-hmm.
an hour or so. Although if you wanted to recon by yourself, I suppose you would just need to dive as deep as the creature is tall.
Mm-hmm.
Start your search there.
I also have an idea. How about we don't stand right next to this thing for if it wakes up? We're standing right
I mean,
here.
if it
May
wakes
not
up,
be a
we're
good
fine.
idea.
I'll just literally punch it.
Yeah, but I mean, why worry about it? Why
That's
worry
a good
about getting
point.
hurt? At least move down the beach a little bit away from it. Still able to keep an eye on it, but, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
standing right over its body.
Yeah.
So smart.
I like to think that Zerus is saying this from where he is on the map.
Next to marmalade.
Yes.
Yes, I'm totally seeing it from back
Reasonable.
now. I just hadn't moved because I was doing something else.
I know.
My God.
I think her Discord died.
Who was that just left?
Other me.
Oh, one of the. No.
Actually, yeah, her role, she disconnected from Roll20 too.
Oh.
I still see her.
Yeah, I see her too.
Okay, she's still in there, so it must just be
Hmm.
Discord.
Well, anyway, it sounds like you guys just want to like sit tight and wait for him to wake up.
Question: when I do my animal recon, you guys want giant octopus or
Small.
giant
Isn't that the plan so that it doesn't attack you?
Yeah, don't let it eat you.
Yeah.
or giant frog?
How about normal frog?
Yeah, can you do like a normal frog or a
How about something that flies? Says Rowan.
I'm just saying, octopuses are rather stealthy and can see in the dark.
how giant is a giant?
It's a large beast, so it's a tad
Huntable.
smaller than the giant.
So huntable.
Yeah, huntable.
Large
Flying
enough that you would be worthy.
Yeah, that I would make for a good dinner. So let's not go for a calamari.
Why would something flying be?
You know, I said that, and then I realized you guys were talking about scouting in the water.
Oh, sorry.
Could
But-
do regular octopus. That's a small beast.
That'd probably be better.
Then we'll hunker down on the beach and. Is there a timetable for if you don't come back, we should be concerned?
I can do this twice, so that's 10 hours.
I feel like we shouldn't wait 10 hours.
Generally, if I don't come back within 5, they'd be worried.
5 hours?
Okay.
That's a long time.
I mean, can't one of you send him a message?
Isn't
Oh
one
my
of your... Isn't one of your familiars, like, slightly aquatic?
I think so.
No?
Yeah, one's a dragon and one's a
Weasel?
parrot. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one's a weasel, the other one's a dragon. Nope, they're not gonna be good companions for me.
And
Alright.
I didn't prep sending today.
Yeah, I
Both
don't
have
think
it.
I'll...
Well,
Also depends on
mean-
how long this thing takes away.
Well, if you're that concerned about being in contact, technically, I might be able to change Thorn's farm. But at the same time, then I would need to change it back. That is a huge drain on
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our supplies.
or not do that. That would be our supply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Changing him one form and then changing him back.
Let's see, what do I have? Speckled animals, locate, all the locate spells, plant growth, divination, freedom of movement, plant life, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't have any communication spells right now.
Wait, how much incense does it use for you to change him?
10 gold worth.
We have 30. So you could do it and change him back, and we'd have one more. If you wanted to.
Do we think it's worth
I'm not sure.
If I'm remembering correctly, I could also turn him into an octopus.
I mean, what if he takes like 8 hours to wake up anyway? Then we can just like go rest and then have sending just in case.
At that point, I could just prep water breathing, and for 24 hours we can breathe underwater.
Yeah, we don't know how long for.
You just
Alright,
don't want to
so-
go in there. I mean, I could at least do something that flies and scout up and down the coast real quick.
Yeah.
I could do that as well, without burning a resource. While we wait for
That's
The news
true.
is that we should move down the coast a little bit. The longer we stand here and talk, the more risk we run that it's going to wake while we're all staying
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
body. Not dead yet. So let's back up, maybe go in. Are we still near the tree line at all?
What's that?
Are we still on like a tree line at all, or are we too far?
The tree line is just on the edge of the map.
Okay, so we go hide in some trees. We continue chatting. Somebody keep an eye, see when it wakes up. If it stays landborn, I can set Thornfall. And if it goes in the water, then we know we need to think of a new plan.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have just Zephyr turn into an octopus and just throw him at the water.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
So no scouting then? You guys just going to the tree line and waiting for it to wake up?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Alright. So, you guys head over to the tree line and hide there, waiting. An hour goes by. Anyone that would like to make do a short rest can do that now.
I will totally take that.
Yeah, I will take that.
And then another hour goes by. And then another hour goes by. How long are you guys sitting here waiting?
I mean, if y'all would like.
It was alive.
What's that?
Did anyone double check that it was
I mean, I'm assuming while I was checking for respiratory, like,
Yeah,
Kills.
when you checked it before, it was alive. Rowan didn't accidentally kill it.
I mean, if he's gonna take a while to wake up, you want me to do like Eagle and check up and down the coast?
I think you should start learning water breathing.
That's gonna take me like 8 hours.
Yeah, might as well. What if
That's
you
good.
go for 8 hours?
That's gonna take a long rest.
Still, I think it's a good idea, but it's up to you ultimately.
Random question. How clear is the water?
That's a good question.
Ooh, you are breaking up pretty bad.
It was the tide was like breaking up against like the rocky shore, so from the shore it's hard to see because there's a lot of foam, a lot of sediments getting mixed around with the water, so not that clear of water.
From what we can tell.
But you can tell from
Can
the
I-
shore, yes.
Can I have Thorn just do a quick fly so I can get an idea of how clear it is?
Sure. How far out do you want him to fly?
Just like fly out, dip his head, come back.
Because I want to know how far he'd be able to see down. So I guess have him fly until he can't. Like, I know we can't see the bottom up close. I just want to see if there's any point that he can see the bottom, and if he gets more than 100 or so feet out, then I'll have him come back.
Okay, then you said he can't see anything.
Okay. Was it calmer 100 feet out, or is it still?
There's still like the forming of waves 100 feet out, but like it's not like, as rough and up against the shoreline. It's just like the very beginnings of waves.
So not
Small.
surf
I'll
conditions.
have him go out a little bit further then.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check for him. All right. I'd say he never sees the bottom. However, about it's way that he can see about 60 feet down before it's murky for him.
You were breaking up really bad, so I caught the 60 feet down part, but not really anything before that.
Okay. He goes out 250 feet. He never sees the bottom, but at that 250 feet, enough for him to see at least 60 feet down.
Okay. I'll have him come back. Now relay that to the rest of the group.
Okay.
As Thorn is making his way back, go ahead and just make it for him.
Do what for him?
Make another perception check for him. All right. As Thorn is making his way back, he has to fly over the giant to get to you guys, and he notices that the giant looks shriveled and sunburnt and has a very bad odor to him.
Oh no.
He dried
Oh,
out. We're
Yeah.
idiots.
oops.
We forgot to take into account that he's amphibious.
Yep, like a beached whale, just dried up.
I'm just gonna
Can I have him swoop?
I'm
Can I
gonna
have him
go
swoop
up.
close to where the gills were to see if there's still any movement, any signs of life?
Here, am I breaking up for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Like I'm having trouble with Kayla, but everybody else is fine for me. But if I'm breaking up for everybody, let's just go to the other Discord.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Hey,
All right.
so smooth. Such a smooth transition.
So you get closer, and it literally looks like a dried up jellyfish now. It's just completely dried out. Like it looks like a lot of the liquid has like internal liquid has just left its body. The giant's dead.
Oof.
It
Cool.
dried out like a beach whale.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, I'll relay that.
Oh.
Zephyr just like facepalm, like, damn it, we forgot about that part.
Double nature person face. Well, the idea of some becoming aquatic and scouting that way is becoming better.
Yeah, we can. I could, in theory, I could fly a bit north as a, bird or something, and cover some land on ground, see if there's a cave. If I don't see anything above, like on land, dive down as a aquatic thing, check under that area, because I'm assuming it was heading back to wherever its den is to eat.
Well, do we think it lives alone, or do we think there might be? Because if we might see something come looking for it. It didn't, and that might be.
Well, it was carrying food back towards the south, so I'm assuming maybe his place is.
No, it was coming from the south. It was
Oh, okay, north. My mistake. I got my directions backwards. So maybe if he was heading back with his food, then maybe, yeah, his place is somewhere there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the sooner we can breathe underwater, the better.
Okay, so you want me to prep water breathing so we can all do the scouting?
Yeah. Visibility probably isn't going to be good when we start to swim, though. It took about 250 feet out for us to be able to spy anything through the water.
Mm-hmm.
But that far out, it was already deep enough that a giant would easily be covered by it.
Alright, so we got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. We might be able to make some guesses, but with my knowledge of, could I make any sort of guesses about how far away its hideout might be? Since this seems more on the less intelligent side than the intelligent side.
It's really hard to say. Like, you don't really know how long it was traveling before it found a deer along the coastline. So,
Okay.
yeah. You don't really have anything.
It took, what, like 2 hours to dry out?
Well, it was 3 hours went by before you guys checked. You don't really know how long it took it to dry out.
I think it was probably faster than that, because remember when we saw it walking, it was just constantly reaching down and splashing itself.
Yeah. About what time of day is it, Mike?
Well, you guys woke up and then traveled south for an hour, so it's still pretty early morning.
We still have plenty of day left.
Yeah, and just to let you know, the way I run long rests is if you want to take a second long rest, you have to wait at least the last long rest before you can have like a midday long rest.
Alright, so it would have to be another 8 hours. We have to wait
7 hours, yeah,
7 hours.
before you can start the long rest.
Yeah.
And maybe one will come by. Who knows?
Yeah. Posting up. Can you do the bubble again?
Uh, you mean me?
Yes, you. Can you bubble us?
I can. I will.
So just move a bit away from the body. Bubble. And then, I mean, if Zephyr, if you want to fly further north, then I can send Thorn further north, or we might as well do something with our time.
Mhm. Yeah, we got a good while. I can cover quite a bit of ground. Do like what? Like giant eagle. Fly above.
Yeah. So I guess after we find a place, I will cast Tiny Hut.
Alright. So you guys just killing time so that you can prepare new spells. Zephyr is going to go scout out an eagle form, it sounds like.
Yeah, gonna do some like.
Alright, we'll get to that in a moment. After you guys make the hut, what do you guys do for the next 7 hours?
You got 7 hours to kill.
I was going to send Thorn out to scout as well, so my time.
Alright, so you're just hanging out in Thorn's sense.
Yep. I'm gonna probably lean up against Amity and just chill.
Alright, cool.
Amity's just gonna read.
I paint a heart on Vanya's cheek.
Oh.
That's gotta be a weird sensation, just blind and deaf, and just you feel something like wet, just like rubbing against your cheek.
Okay, maybe she just thinks it's I'm blanking. Amity's familiar. What's your familiar's name? I forget.
Marmalade?
Marmalade. That's it. I knew it was a jam.
I'm. Can I take a short rest while we're waiting for the
Oh.
long rest?
Yeah, you would have gotten a short rest while you guys were waiting for the giant to
Oh,
like.
okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
then.
I said that earlier. I guess you just
Okay,
didn't hear.
I didn't. I think it might have cut out in time. Sorry.
Just when she was having the Discord issues.
Oh yeah, I might have
Ah.
also been out of Discord at that time. Yeah. Okay, cool. Do that thing.
I think I'm actually gonna go giant owl. They got a bunch of better stats than me. Like proficiency in stealth.
Saris will just
Hey.
his book.
Okay. A lot of reading in this group. Sounds good.
Rowan is gonna
Spellcast.
go into the foresty part and make sure that we're not being stalked by elvish people.
All right, cool. So how far out are Zephyr the Owl and Thorn going to scout along the coastline?
I think I'll go for I think I'll start going for like at least 2 hours of scouting.
Okay, so 2 hours north.
Yeah.
2 hours there, 2 hours back.
All right, and just accompanying Zephyr, or
I'm gonna be just kind of as a second.
okay.
All right. Second set of eyes then.
Then I guess Zephyr with if his owl stats are better, I don't know which ones are better. And then
When you
Thorn and Rowan all need to make perception checks.
Okay, that didn't even work. That is perception plus 9. At advantage because
What was the first one? The first one was an empty line for me. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't roll both yet. Got it.
yeah.
All right.
Pat-
So
Passive as an owl is a 19, by the way.
right, but we're going for checks here.
Pretty sure.
So all right. On your 2-hour scouting mission, you guys don't see anything of note along the coastline, and Rowan, you don't see any threats in the forest.
I'll be making my way back, keeping an eye out for any suspicious alcoves, caves, stuff of that like.
Yep. So you guys get back with no problem. That's 4 hours down, 3 to go.
I still got another. I can still do this for another 5 hours. You want me to keep going?
You could
Kayla?
look around in the water.
Yeah, I think
All right.
perhaps scouting in the water might be a better use of time.
All right then. Dropping down. Gonna drop that wild shape. We'll go. Fuck it. We'll go giant octopus.
All right. Not a problem swimming through the rougher waters as a giant octopus because you're a bit bigger. Go ahead and make me a perception check as giant octopus.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is just a straight roll. Ironically, with one eye, he manages to get a 22.
All right. And then you're just doing the same thing, just like scouting for 2 hours, doing like a perimeter or whatnot.
We'll push 3.
All right. You will lose beast form on your way back, and will have to manually swim back if you do it that way. 'Cause
I'm aware of that.
3 out and 2 back.
I'm aware. On the 2 back, I'll go closer to shore so I don't drown. I don't need to breathe. I forgot about that.
It's the breathing that's not the problem. It's the
Yeah.
getting
It's the swimming.
thrust up against the rocks.
Yeah.
Anyway, during your scouting in the water, you also don't find anything of note there either. There does seem to be like a couple 100 feet out, there is a decent level of aquatic life, in as this is the ocean. As you're making your way back, you turn back into humanoid Zephyr, and I need you to make an athletics check.
Alright.
Alright. You're able to keep yourself aloft and in control so you don't find yourself getting slammed into any rocks, and you make it back to the party well after when you guys were supposed to start doing a long rest.
Yeah, I'll be recasting Tiny Hut at some point.
I assume so.
I will inform them of my findings, which is nothing.
Great. I guess we're gonna rest.
Alright. You guys taking watches?
Yeah.
Alright. What watches are you guys taking?
I'll go on first.
Second half and third.
I'll do third.
Yeah, the usual.
Okay, I'll go with first with Vanya then.
Woo.
Woo!
That puts me on second.
Alright, then first watch.
Oh, that's me. Loot. I just keep looking at the heart that I painted on our cheek because I think it's so cute that I can't watch now.
At some point, probably a couple, like halfway through the watch, Vanya's just going to say, "Are you going to be okay with potentially going back into the water?"
I mean, I'd really rather not, but it's also not looking like we have a choice.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like we do. But I didn't want us to go forward without somebody talking to you.
Oh. Well, thanks. I mean, but at least this time it'll, I'll be able to move, and Zephyr's gonna make us all able to breathe. So if I like panic or something, it shouldn't be too bad, and I can I don't know. I'm the greatest swimmer, so
I'm not really either. This is going to be a very interesting experience. How about we stick together?
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too bad up there, and again, we can breathe, so yay. I just hope we find where we need to go before we actually go in, just in case.
Yeah, it would be helpful to get some kind of indication of where we're supposed to be going, but don't
Maybe
know if
another,
it's going to happen.
yeah, maybe another giant will show up.
Honestly, at this point, that's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, maybe we should have got body then.
Yeah, we didn't. That's on, I think, Zephyr and I. One of us should have realized they breathed water. We joked about rolling the body, and then we joked about it drowning and not being able to drown, and then we left it there.
Yeah.
We should have rolled the body into the water, apparently.
Oops.
Yeah. We'll figure things out.
Just no more deaths.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I draw in my sketchbook.
I'm gonna have Thorn hang out on her shoulder for the rest.
Aww.
All right. Your watch goes off with no problems. Second watch.
Rolling.
I'm only on the back half.
Lots of juicy things happening in this first half of the watch. Nah, just kidding.
As usual, no conversation from me unless somebody asks me something.
Yeah. Yeah, unless Zeris is feeling talkative, I'll just do some prayer and a little bit of writing on my part.
All right. Well, your watch goes off with no problems either. At least for the part before Rowan wakes up. Anything Rowan would like to say once she's conscious?
Ramona, are you ever gonna... Wait, Ramona's not on this watch. Yes, she is. No, she's not. Yes, she is.
No, she was on the
no.
first. Nope.
This is second.
First watch. I'm so
Second
lost.
watch.
I'm gonna try and sneakily wipe the heart off on his face while she's sleeping.
Why, it's cute.
All right, make a sleight of hand check.
So it's not actually punch her in the side of the face.
You succeed in not waking her up, but you don't get all of the heart. Now it's just like a smear on her face.
Like
Made it worse.
like a mime cheek.
Oh well, I'll just blame Ramona for that one. They wake up.
All right, then third watch.
real observant. This is gonna be great.
She's way too busy writing.
What are you writing, Amity?
Huh?
What are you writing? What are you writing?
Oh, I'm just writing. It's nothing.
Everyone's like looking over your shoulder. She's doing the thing where she goes from like one shoulder to the other. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
She's like closing the book. She's like, stop.
No, Amity.
What?
The last time you did this, remember what it was?
It's not that.
Then let me see. It can't be worse than that.
It's a story about marmalade.
Oh, please, will you read it to me?
No.
Read it for the whole class, please.
I'll let you read it when I'm done.
Just read me like the first sentence.
No.
Amity.
It's like I don't know. She just. Truth be told, I don't have the mental capacity to come up with a story right now.
Fine, but I get first dibs, even before Ramona.
Fine.
Betrayed.
Fine, keep writing. I'll keep watching.
Okay, that sounds like a good trade-off.
Go back to watching. Trying to sneak peeks over Amity's shoulder whenever I get a chance.
Man, this really is high school.
You drunk children. All right. So third watch goes off with no problems. It's now getting dark as you finish your watch. Weird how that works out.
Rowan's just like all giddy. She's like, oh my god, this never happens. I'm so excited.
She's like, what are you excited about?
Amity, look around you. It's dark.
Help.
Yeah?
I don't want like this. Let's wait.
You have that cool little the ball of light.
Yeah, the trip
Yeah,
globe.
but aren't we trying to be sneaky?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
And we're going in water. This is awful.
Yeah, we didn't think this through.
We have a drift globe. Most of us can see in the dark, by the way.
We can, but as the water isn't clear, so it's going to be dark. Our vision is going to be heavily hampered. We'll just need to be on alert.
Next, y'all want me to make
I mean,
like
I can
a...
see very far, so we should be okay.
That's true.
You can see very far in the dark, but murky water is a different thing.
Well, I mean, it's only murky when you're like close to the shore.
For the first 60 feet down, yes.
That's fine.
I don't like that shift in...
That's super high pitched.
Whenever we're ready to go, I can let you see in the dark, Ramona, so you don't have to use the ball of light.
See?
Did Kayla cut out for anyone else, or is that just me?
Yeah,
She cut out for me that
Okay.
time.
Oh, all I said was it's all.
Then yeah, we're all good. So we're going swimming, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go, Rowan just sort of like does some stretching, and then she just like shadow steps to a tree and back just for the fun of it. Like, okay, I'm ready.
You gotta get it out of your...
You gotta listen. You don't get to do it that often. You gotta loosen up, okay?
Gotta get your head in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
God damn it.
metagaming pigeon.
I was wondering where that pigeon was coming from.
All right. So what's the game plan here? We're just we're just diving and
I think we should dive in, giant depth, and then try and stay and look for things from there.
I think we should go to where the footprint was and then dive from there instead.
that seems like a good idea.
That is actually well.
Alright.
I mean, he was walking back in that direction. So I don't know. I feel like that's a better starting point than just some random spot we came across the giant.
That's fair.
Especially since had we not interfered, pointedly looking at Ramona,
I'm just looking at
would've-
the water.
he would have kept walking. So
Okay, question for the DM.
Stop.
Would a Warforged need water breathing if I don't technically need to breathe?
Does it specifically say you don't need oxygen?
I don't need to eat, drink, or breathe.
Then you would not need to be able to breathe underwater because you don't need to breathe.
Okay, just had to double check that.
You might have a rust problem later.
I just don't need to open my mouth.
It was a joke.
Also, the innards are just wood. Yeah. I can ritual cast this, so I don't even need to spend the spell. Cast this ritual. Water breathing for 24 hours, non-concentration, up to 10 willing creatures, all of us can see with it. You can see within the range, has the ability to breathe in the water until the spell ends. You also retain your ability to breathe air.
Would that technically be able to cover our familiars, or do we need to zip them into a pocket?
No, you could cover your familiars too.
Yeah, that's willing creatures.
It was up to 10 people, right?
Yeah, 10 willing creatures.
Yeah, so you can do familiars on it.
So Marmalade now suddenly gains the ability to breathe water.
Yes.
Nothing can stop them now.
Exactly what she wanted.
All right.
Also given us I've also given us a quick way to return to the surface if we need it.
Great. Then I think we're ready.
Cool. So with that, you all start wading into the sloshing water off the coast. Like I said, it is very rough, so I need athletics checks from everybody.
before we go into the water, I'm going to give Ramona dark vision.
Oh, thank you.
I touch.
You can do that?
I
Yeah.
can for 8 hours.
Yep. She can cast the dark vision spell using key points.
That's dope.
Can do a couple spells. Key
I'm
point.
gonna give. Oh well, I was gonna say I'm gonna give Vanya and Amity bardic inspiration. Like, you guys are the best swimmers ever. Actually, that's what I said, Amity, and then to Vanya, I go, okay, we're staying close, right? You gotta get me
Yep,
through
I'm
this. I
Yep.
believe in you.
We're gonna swim together.
I'm gonna be like, pair up, always swim in twos.
I love how this is a non-strength based party, and yet you guys keep on running into strength based
Listen,
problems.
Nope.
Listen, you
I rolled a 2.
you know what we are.
I mean,
we've accepted our fate.
we're not even gonna be able to get into the water. Let's like.
I like how
Parents and I
Amity's
just
one
strolled
isn't
in.
even natural.
No, I rolled a 2.
This is why.
A 2 minus a 2 plus 1.
All right. So,
just remembered I could just do like a frog form and just be done with this.
Why don't you
So
just become something big and carry these little ones in?
Ramona, Amity, and Zephyr, as you guys go trying to swim out against the tide, it's a bit than you're expecting, and you find yourselves against the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And you take 10 points of damage.
Ouch.
But after dealing with rocks for a while, you eventually swim out far enough where you don't have to deal with that anymore. And then you guys descend underwater, where visibility is 30 feet. Everybody has the same 30 feet.
Great.
I'm in the front.
I think to save us some hassle, I'm gonna do a giant octopus again because I get those back on a short rest.
All right.
Scoop each of us up in a tentacle.
Actually,
Yeah.
frog. They're amphibious. That's better. I can breathe the air and water. Even though I don't
All
need
right.
An octopus, and then that way you could have just grabbed on everyone and been like, wee!
And I think you get, if I'm remembering correctly, you get 10 minutes of land breathing as an. If I'm remembering correctly,
I thought it was 30 minutes.
it might be more, but I know you get
Okay.
some amount of air breathing time as an octopus.
Yeah, you get 1 hour as an octopus. Jesus Christ, it's long. Fuck.
Yeah, octopus are great.
Water breathing only underwater camouflage advantage on dexterity self checks. Okay, yep. Octopus it is. So large beak.
Cool. All right. And then you guys go swimming down deeper into the water. You swim for a minute or so to a point where the water seems to clean up a little bit. And now you're going off of 60 feet of visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping an eye out for scary things in the water, like amphibious giants
I
and
look
zombies.
for nomad caches.
Could you imagine we find one down here?
That'd be hilarious.
Make a perception check.
I like how she clicked it.
I was ready.
You don't find any.
Damn
I'm
it!
like, what about me?
Does Ramona find
No.
anything? No!
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew I shouldn't have clicked it, but it's fine.
Also, I will keep a hold of our our squishy ones.
All right.
I will give them a lifeline just in case.
Sure, yeah. So you guys swim around for a while. Just a lot of silt, some underwater rocks, the occasional fish that is nocturnal for some reason. And an hour goes by and you don't find anything.
Do we want to head in like a northern direction, y'all?
I mean, the direction that would be in Giant's trajectory, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
All right. Well, here's the interesting thing. As you are underwater with low visibility, Hard to tell exactly which way is north. Like you know which way you came from, so like you know like the general direction of north, but you don't know like what straight north is. So if you just want to like meander northward, you can. If you want to go specifically north, that's going to require a survival check.
As we all pointedly tread water in Vanya's direction.
I'm gonna try and find north.
I'll also
not gonna
attempt to
find
find north.
I will give you guidance.
I'll also attempt to find north.
Which one of us was that, Zaris?
This would be you.
Okay.
All right. Even with the guidance, Vanya, you're a little turned around. Zephyr, with your amphibious nature, you're able to tell which way north is and start leading the way. Throughout this entire
You like some little mermaid, like pointing in the direction of north.
excursion, you have noticed as a giant frog yeah, it was a giant frog, right?
We're going octopus for the.
Oh, you did go octopus. Got it. So as you swim around in your giant octopus form, you do notice that the rest of the party is moving a lot slower than you, as they do not have swim speeds. So mechanically, everybody is moving at half speed.
I mean, would you like a lifeline for me to pull you with? I got 8.
Cool.
How would you see that if it was a giant octopus?
It's not exactly how it works, because like in order for like you to swim, like you would be having to like contort your whole body. Like you can like grapple some, which would have your swims, but I don't think it would be that big of a difference.
I think I'll stick with where I'm at now, because that would not be a fun ride for y'all. Unless you want whiplash.
All right.
Yeah.
Another hour goes by as you guys have moved and started moving north. Zephyr, as a giant octopus, do you get appearances or do you just have like dark vision?
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you have like any extra senses as a giant octopus besides dark vision?
I have dark vision and passive perception of 19.
Okay, so none. Got it. Then
Thorn does have blind sight for 10. I don't know if that's gonna help at all, but he does have that.
what's Thorn's normal speed?
15 feet.
Okay, so Thorn's mostly just been like in your pocket or something throughout this whole thing, so that because he cannot swim as fast as you.
Nope, I'm carrying him.
He would be going like 7 feet per second.
I'm just gonna carry him.
I would like everybody to make a
Make a perception check.
perception check. Yeah.
I think Amity's inspired still.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's been 10 minutes.
Oh, never mind. You wasted my
Yes! Extension works.
It's been a month since I've got a nat 20.
I'm surprised the extension still worked.
So, Xeris and Ramona, as everybody is swimming around, oh, I guess, and Zephyr too, because you got 23. As everyone's swimming around, the three of you see coming into your field of vision three figures coming from the west. Quickly, you kind of ready yourselves before you realize that they are not big enough to be giants.
The fuck?
Wait, we can breathe. Can we talk? I guess it's underwater, so it's all garbly.
It would
Yeah.
probably be a bit hindered.
I cast message to Vanya. Look where I'm looking, and I point.
I look where she's looking.
I will do the octopus pointing. It's like in that direction is where things are.
All right. So everybody now sees these three figures getting closer, and as they get closer,
Put myself between the squishies and the people.
they look to be humanoid at first, but then you see that they have like this bluish tinge skin, and webbed appendages on the sides of their arms as well as fingers. And from the waist down, they have like a large fish tail.
Oh no.
Mermaids.
Oh, that's not good though.
And they just start swimming circles around all of you, looking at you curious.
Do they?
Seem hostile?
Yeah.
Or
Do
just
they have
curious?
hostile intent?
We're curious.
I wave.
I also wave.
You wave at one of them, one that looks female, and
The
she
least
looks
scary.
at you and kind of like cocks her head to the side, and then like she looks at her hand, and then she waves back at you.
Oh, she's adorable.
I love her. I smile.
Before she kills us.
Amity looks very non-threatening.
I mean,
Have we figured out if we can talk or not? And have it make any sense?
I try to say hello.
You try to speak to them, and as you go to speak, like words do come out, but they are heavily garbled.
Hmm.
As well, actually, necessarily water breathing doesn't just make it like you breathe oxygen from water. It's more you're just breathing water. So you know what? It's more just distorted from the water. It's not like garbled because there's no bubbles to garble it.
And a little bit
True.
lower volume.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
Nowhere
it's
near as
just
loud.
it's just a little distorted as you go to speak. But as you like speak to them, another one of these creatures just kind of cocks his head and looks at you. You get the sense that they do not speak the common tongue.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was a test. That's
You,
okay.
is there one that stands out as like a leader of this little posse?
Hard to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not really sure.
Okay. Then I'm gonna point at myself. I'm gonna point at and then the female-looking one that had waved at us, I'm going to use his telepathy to just communicate like peaceful, just like trying to say that we don't mean harm, but in a very simple.
She looks confused and then a little startled when feelings are projected onto her. She kind of like it takes her a second to like realize what's going on. And then she turns to one of the other of these fish people, and speaks in kind of like a swishing kind of sing-song style language. What would he speak? Just drop them in the chat.
Suddenly wish I had a Genasi in this party.
Thank you, Josh.
Real helpful.
All right.
Barely.
Yeah. None of you speak this language. I thought it was possible that one of you might have just taken it on a whim, but they converse in this strange language, and then and then the one of these creatures goes over to you, Zephyr.
Yeah.
And let's see here.
Don't try to stab me. Don't try to stab me. Please don't try to stab me.
You see him start to cast a.
Fuck.
You can see he like his hands seem to like move in front of you, and the water within just seems to light up a little bit, and then the spell ends, and he goes to speak to you in this weird sing-songy voice, except this time you understand him, and he says, "Great creature of the depths, why do you travel with these land creatures?"
Okay, first, this is this is a beast shape. I am a druid.
Druid.
A being with control over nature to an extent. I can do the thing that you did to me. They speak with beasts.
You see this creature as you as it seems to understand what you're turns to the other two and speaks in this language again, and then you see one of them looks at you in shock, and then the other one, the girl, just looks really excited. And the one speaking to you turns back to you and says, I apologize. It has been very long since we have had a druid among us before. What can we do for you, Great One?
Okay. We are looking for the swimming giants. There is a great threat to the surface that seeks to amass a giant army. Literally. And I fear you guys will not be safe either.
What are giants?
I quickly describe a giant as a, towering, multi-limbed, like four-limbed creature, like yourselves, arms and like some sort of method for moving forward.
He looks shocked for a moment and then says something else to the other two, who now look at you in confusion, and then he turns back and is like, what are the Stormborn doing on the surface?
Let me rephrase that. Have you seen the I actually don't know. I haven't seen one in a long time. Have you seen the large creatures with webbed hands and feet that tend to go to the surface to hunt?
Kind of like looks at his hands that are webbed and then looks back at you and then just kind of like gestures them out to you, confused.
Bigger, like my size big.
Seems to scratch his head and then shrugs.
Perhaps if we brought you to one that tried to fight us, you might get a picture of what we're dealing with. Would that help?
Maybe.
If you're willing to follow us, we'll get a little bit close, but you should be able to, How good are you guys with air breathing?
Oh. We can breathe the I guess they won't have like a weird term for air. We can breathe air fine.
All right.
It's just going on the surface. Well,
the walking
kind of
bit is
gestures
harsh.
to the fish bottom half.
Yeah, the walking bit is the hard part. You won't need to show you. I sort of give the party like octopus thumbs up, of like, and then like
two suction.
Could you tell them to follow us? We're going back to where we saw a giant. They'll know what I mean. I can't communicate with them.
Yeah, you just like start like moving your hands to like in the direction of Vanya, and Vanya like you can tell he's trying to tell you something, but like you're not entirely sure what.
Like he's trying to speak to me. I know it.
Don't you have like speak with animals or something?
Nope. Not that kind of ranger. And
Basically, just do a
giant-
charade, like 4 words, 3 syllables.
So for Thorn's telepathy, it has to be something that speaks a language. So he can't speak with. Can he speak with Zephyr Octopus or?
Let me check my-
Technically, as an
let me check-
octopus, Zephyr doesn't have languages.
Cool.
Like he keeps his mental stats, so like
Yeah.
he understands languages, but he can't actually speak them himself.
Oh, it just has to understand a language.
Oh, then yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I'll have, as I'm trying to interpret octopus, is not something she's ever had to do before.
I just imagine Thorn just goes up and is like, hey, buddy, what you need?
If only it was that simple, but it's only limited telepathy.
You can show images though. So can I have him show an
Oh.
image of the beach and of the giant, and then just like
Well,
question mark?
you wouldn't know like what Zephyr is trying to tell you though. That's like jumping to a conclusion.
Because I'm trying to, I guess so. Like maybe just asking him like question mark. The simple idea of what are you trying to tell us?
Yeah. So you get a strong sense of confusion from Thorn as Vanya's not getting it.
I will try to, in feelings, interpret like we need to go back where we started.
I'll say as you guys are having like this weird kind of like charades between an animal and a ranger, Zaris, you would finish casting your comprehend languages spell.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Okay.
I can understand them, but I can't speak to them. But I can understand them.
Right.
Okay.
And I can communicate through the octopus because he's able to talk to them. So.
Well,
Okay.
it's more they're able to talk to the octopus because the mermaid guy cast speak with animals. That's what he cast.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I can understand what they're saying to me, and then I can tell the octopus, and then the octopus can communicate with them and let them know.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of like a 3-way conversation phone call thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess.
Very,
This
very
is a
weird.
conference. This is a conference call between like Orin Powers.
Telephone.
I'll say it's very it takes a while to get it like everybody like figure out what their role in the conversation is, and then a couple minutes later, you're able to convey to Vanya that you need to take these people back to the dead giant to show them what you guys are looking for.
So since we've reached that point, can I just use Thorn to show them an image? Got to the point of like we want to show them the giant, but it would be easier if we just stayed.
Yeah, I would say you could do that. Yeah. You use Thorn to send like a static image of a memory of the dead giant, as well as when it was alive.
Yeah, when it was alive would be good.
I feel like it's probably the best point is when it was like lying unconscious before it died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was when you got like the clearest picture of it. Yeah, and I guess Zaris could also use
minor
illusion. But you're able to show this to these guys, and their kind of like friendly, curious attitude immediately switches to horror and fear as they start informing Zephyr and Xeris that the creatures you speak of they are servants of the old gods.
Old god?
Do we have any clue what that means?
Cyrus is
Religions?
starting to wonder if he deciphered that correctly.
Yeah,
Religion
exactly.
check?
It's like, is that lost in
Like, wait,
translation?
wait, old god, wait, what?
Yeah, go ahead and make a religion check.
Nope. I know nothing of this. This is out of my depth.
Bullshit.
Pun intended.
Here's Joe with the out of nowhere religion check again.
You gotta love it. I mean, come on.
I mean, this doesn't make
Honestly,
sense.
Joe, you should just play a religious character. I think that's your
No,
calling.
no,
but
that's the thing. If I
And he
play a religious
does.
character, I'm gonna start rolling
wait.
complete crap for that.
Well, maybe if you play a religious character that's like a total pacifist, then you'll be really good at killing people randomly.
Oh, with a redemption paladin.
Yeah, there you
Keep
go.
that in mind for my backup.
All right. So, sharing that information with the rest of the group, Amity, Xeris, and Vanya. You're not entirely sure what that could mean. It could mean something to do with the like the gods that were killed during the betrayal of the founding. It could refer to the Titans that lived on this plane before the prime deities came to this plane, or it could be some other higher power that you just have no idea, that you've never heard of before. You're unsure.
Do you know of any, like, aquatic gods?
Well, aquatic gods, probably the only one that you would like know of would be the Wild Mother, but even though she's a bit more kind of like leaning towards chaos, she is mostly for the good of the world. She's not an evil god.
Yeah.
She's not like explicitly a good god either, but like she more to the good side of things than the evil side of things. But Mother Nature can also be a cruel mistress sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll sort of just like tell them, I'll tell them my goddess, the Wild Mother, told us that the smallest giant goes to sea, finds a cave, and becomes a slave. Does that relate to these beings being servants to these old gods you speak of?
They will tell you that the old gods are slavers. They corrupt your mind and make you follow them.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you the hint that it's probably not the Wild Mother.
Yeah, that's like that. That's not her. It's not her. That she don't do that. Okay, so I'll be like this. I'll sort of reiterate. Could you tell my friend here, I point to the left of me, Xeris, that this lines up with a divination I had?
Okay. The guy who's kind of like taking the role as the interpreter tells you, Xeris, that this matches a this matches a vision that the Great Warrior has had before.
It probably feels weird for him to hear the Great Warrior, the Great One.
Yeah. You will pass that along and be like, great warrior, I guess they mean him.
I'll also ask them, do you know where they reside?
They seem hesitant to say.
Because all we are looking for is to find a staff piece that long ago was lost due to them going and being enslaved.
They tell you that if you're looking for something that has fallen into the possession of the old gods, then it is gone and you should forget it, lest you become slaves to their malevolent will as well.
I'm assuming Zeris also hears that, and that is not good.
Yeah, he hears it.
Oh yeah, he's literally translating it out as I hear what I hear. So
Sort of turn to Zeris, like, what do you think? Like, shrugging.
I have no clue.
I'll sort of ask them, what do you know of these? What do you call them?
They are the old gods.
I mean, the servants.
The serpents?
Servants.
Oh, the servants.
What do you call those things?
That's what we call them, the servants.
Okay. Well, what do you know of them? Like, any information you could provide could help us, because this there is currently a being trying to unite the staff, of which could enslave all giant kin.
Is this being of the old gods as well?
No, he's more of dragonkin.
Dragon.
I then proceed to describe a giant flying lizard with wings and can breathe of various elements.
He looks at you like in shock, as if like aghast that such a creature exists above the ocean.
And they are typically power-hungry, very selfish individuals. Not all of them, just the more evil one.
Says that sounds terrible. How do you survive?
Well, they're very limited in population. But the ones that do exist, typically we leave alone because their power. Some become more ambitious and seek world domination, that which we have to try and, help out with stopping. You say you know the Stormborn? Or the Storm Giants, if I will?
The Stormborn, they how do I put this? They are very few in the depths, much like your dragons, apparently. Supposedly they all come from a great city of their making, but we do not know where that city is.
I'm afraid our Dragon King individual is also looking for the Stormborn's peace. Any information you have on the Stormborn would greatly help us.
Hmm. Well, we don't know for sure. That would most likely be a question for the Queen. But I don't know if we can take you to her.
Your kin are not fond of outsiders, I'm assuming?
There have been shifts in the world recently. New creatures popping up.
I'm aware.
New
Gods.
discoveries. We don't know exactly who we can trust.
I'll sort of tell him I know how that feels. Having to be sort of cautious with your allies. We are very few, and we are on this task ourselves. What you see is what you get. This is all of us who are trying to do this mission. If you could help us in any way, that would greatly appreciate it.
Well, all I know is that the edge of the old god's power uh, is along the shattered coast. But we do not go there. We are being taken under their control as well as the servants have.
Shattered Coast. Where? Does that line up with any place I would know?
Sorry, is that line up with what?
Is that any place I would know of?
No. That is someplace on this continent of which you are all foreigners to.
I'll inform them I am not of this region. That name is lost on me.
The Shattered Coast is it is the boundary between the sea world and the land world to the north of here, where water and land mix. It looks as if they have shattered one another. As you get the sense that this is kind of like he seems to be like describing like an area along the coast where there's a lot of like islands of the same kind of like rough stone shore.
Mm-hmm. All right. That that is of use. Are there any other kinds of servants that they have that you know of?
Maybe a few that they have managed to enslave over the years, but the large ones that you've seen are the majority.
All right. Question for you. Is the I'm assuming your city is not that far. If you were able to find this so quickly.
It is actually very far from here. We are on a survey expedition. Said there have been many changes in the sea of late, and we have been tasked with searching to see if there might have been a cause on the surface that might have facilitated these changes.
I'm gonna give him a quick rundown of what's happened so far on the surface. I'm gonna give him the cliff notes.
You just see like his eyes just getting wider and wider as you continue to speak on about all this. He turns to the other two who have kind of like left you guys to do your own like left the speaking people to do your own thing. The female one is kind of like gone over to Amity and is like looking at her horns because she's never seen a humanoid with horns before. While the other one is like poking at Vanya's bow, not understanding what it's used for.
Are they carrying weapons?
You can see that the male who's poking at your bow.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Dropping like flies. Where did we lose Josh?
Oh, you see, he's only back
that
up DM.
would be weird.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
All right. Good session tonight.
Does this mean we win?
Did you not realize you got disconnected?
Probably not.
What's up, friends?
Nothing.
I'm sleepy.
There's so many people typing. It's never happened.
We lost Mike and Josh.
Well, it was probably
Okay.
some internet then.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that.
Means we
Yep.
win.
They both
We
went
win?
off like, we won D&D! Yes!
Okay, well then I'm gonna take this opportunity to pour me some more goldfish.
Yes, I'm actually going to take this
Can I
opportunity
have
to
some?
send the stream to a little bathroom break, so we will be back shortly. are back.
All right, great. Well, sorry about the technical disruptions. But as I was saying, while you guys were talking to these merfolk, uh, one was inspecting Vanya's bow. He has a trident on his back, and one was engrossed with Amity's horns, and she had a belt.
I'm gonna take my bow and like mimic shooting an arrow. Obviously, like not towards him, but just like showing him how I would use it.
And Amity's just letting this person play with her horns.
He takes like his trident off and then just like kind of like makes like a throwing motion with it and then like shrugs at you like, why don't you just throw shit? That seems way too complicated.
I'll also
Fair. He's not wrong.
Because we don't have to
But I
run
have
after the
noodle arms.
trodent afterwards.
while I have the main guy's attention, I'll ask him, you had a druid among you for a time?
Oh, kind of switching gears here because you guys were a little in the middle of a conversation. But he says that these people used to be slaves to the titans of the sea long time ago, before they were saved by a druid. And so every once in a while, a druid pops up in their community, and the druid is greatly revered for their bravery and strength.
That's new information to me. Question, where might I find others like them?
Others like the merfolk?
The druid he was mentioning.
Oh, well, like he said, there hasn't been any druids in their community for a very long time. Since like there was one back when he was a child, but that druid like died nobly protecting the city.
Mm-hmm. Did we get directions to where this shattered coast was? You said.
It's to the north, is what they told you, along the coastline.
All right, north along the coastline.
Yeah, but like they do not wish to travel there, as it's kind of like
Forbidden territory.
Well, it's not like explicitly forbidden. It's like it's a mixture of it's forbidden and everyone's like scared of it for the reason of the old. Like the whole like forbidden aspect of it is more a formality for like those stupid people that was like, well, I'm not scared, I'll go. It's kind of that shit.
Okay.
But he does thank you for sharing with them that it is in fact something that happened on the material plane that's causing all of these changes, so that they can return home to inform their people of what is happening.
If we ever need help from you guys, where can we find your civilization?
they're still a little hesitant to tell you, especially when you're planning going north to face the old gods. They're scared that if you fall to the old gods, that the old gods will learn the location of their city. And that would be bad.
A general direction. How about that?
They tell you it's deep underwater.
Alright. I am glad you are willing to help us in our quest for these pieces, and I was able to aid you in information. If there's anything you need, let us know. We might be able to help. If not, I guess we shall be on our way. So it turns to Zaris. Got anything you need to ask?
Cyrus doesn't respond because he can't understand you.
Before they leave, they do ask what everyone's names are, so that they can remember you when you die.
I will.
Oh.
What kind of them?
It's less of like, fuck you, you're gonna die, and more of like, you are very brave for going where you will definitely die there.
I'll tell them. I'll tell them Zephyr and Morel.
Ramona.
Armos.
Yeah.
Billy, that's fucking new to me.
Amity.
The one that was interpreting, he introduces himself as Palace, Palla.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the trident, his name is Glaukos, Glaukos. And the woman with the daggers, let's see here. Her name is Cleo, Kleio.
Kleio.
Yep. And they wish you luck in your endeavors before they turn and swim.
Okay.
Just sort of look at Zaris and shrug, like, that was helpful.
All right, so what's the party?
So do we keep going, or?
Gonna ask if you wanted to head to the shore to make this easier on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
All right. So you guys start heading like east, maybe a little northeast, in some ground while you head to, which is good because over the next 2 hours, like you start getting like real tired swimming for so long. Like you are not used to this type of travel. Like
For
walking
extended
is one
periods.
thing. Yeah, like walking is one thing, but swimming for several hours at a time, that's pretty exhausting when you don't have a swimming speed.
Especially while armored.
Yeah. For those who have heavy, well, not heavy armor, but like heavier armor.
I think is only Vanya.
Which is funny because she's one of the weaker ones.
She's wearing studded leather. Not that heavy.
Oh, okay.
So leather when wet? Jeez, fuck, right.
Alright. But yeah. Right when you think like maybe this was a bad idea and you're like on the verge of like passing out because it's just that exhausting swimming through the water.
And you're not Michael Phelps.
Yeah, you break the surface and can see that the shore is nearby, and that kind of reinvigorates you and helps you make it the rest of the way to shore, where you all kind of pull your onto the rocks and just kind of lay there, just like as every muscle in your body is just like, why did you do this to me?
Yay, land!
Also, ow. For me.
I'm just gonna lay here for a bit.
I think we all are.
I'm gonna draw wild shape.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't know what they're. Just seemed like a nice.
Oh man. I could have just water walked us to the surface. I just thought about that. That would
Yeah,
have
well.
stopped after an hour.
Yeah, well. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
So you guys rest up for a little bit before you start making the rest of the trek up the by land. I would like everybody to make a perception.
Yay!
Yay!
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
All right. So Ramona, as the party is like getting ready to start, you do notice nearby, in the wet stony sand of this beach, there are several giant-sized footsteps heading south. And you're able to tell from the spacing that there was more than one of them that passed through here. You're unsure how long ago, though.
Yeah, I think they noticed their missing friend, and I'll point at the footprints to everyone.
Well,
Oh, good.
Now that I've seen the footprints, can I see how long? Can I try to figure out how long it's been since they went through?
Make a survival check.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm gonna try and determine number, like how many went that way.
That's hard to tell. There were 3. With the 19, you would be able to tell that they passed through here about 2 hours prior.
footprints aren't that old. Maybe 2 hours.
Hmm.
What do we want to do?
Well, we
Right.
already know where we're going? Question mark. Be,
Yeah.
but then we don't want them to like come up from behind and attack us either.
I'm thinking finish the trek as close as we can to where these things are from. Find some place safe to shelter up and get our bearings before we just go in there and, find this piece.
We might see them walking back as well.
True.
Keep an eye out.
Could also find out whether, they come back, we see them, go into their hideout, we know the entrance, and win.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So what are you guys doing?
I guess we're continuing to where the mermaid said. I think
So-
that's what I heard.
Alright, so traveling up the north.
Keeping an eye out for giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to keep Thorn. That way he can keep an better eye out behind us.
Are we going to stay on the beach or move off the beach a little bit? If they're walking on the beach, I don't want to run into them and have them see us.
Yeah, probably not directly in this path. They tend to, from what I can tell, stay close to the shoreline as to keep themselves hydrated.
And they could also understand possibly, smaller footprints in the sand as well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cover our tracks as we go as well.
All right.
So traveling through the forest near the beach then is what.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, like right on the forest edge. So we can get a decent eye on the beach, and if we need to get cover, it's literally right there.
Alright, great. Well, then I would make a perception traveling.
Not much better. Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Anybody roll for
Um,
Rowan?
oh yeah, Josh, you want to roll for Rowan?
God,
Yeah.
our character sheet takes a while to open.
Just because she's not here, we can't forget about her.
All right. So you guys travel the rest of the night in the trees near the beach. You travel a ways and just as the morning sun is starting to light up the day, let's see here. Xeris, you would see that the area of stone leading to the water that does look well worn, as if it was heavily trafficked.
I would let everybody know.
Mm-hmm.
Amity had the same role as me, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said Amity.
Oh, I didn't hear it. My bad.
Yeah, I said Xeris and Amity.
time of day is it at this point?
This is like right at dawn, which on your new sleep schedule that you guys developed from the previous, it would be like 2/3 of your conscious day gone. However, you are all very tired from swimming for like 4 hours straight, so take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we fucked our sleep schedule.
Oh yeah.
Hooray.
We'll be able to get it back.
We're adventurers. We don't need a regular sleep schedule.
Don't like that laugh.
Well, do we want to tuck into the forest a bit? Take a rest? For the afternoon?
At the very least, a short rest wouldn't hurt.
Are we able to get any sort of idea, like how far it'll be to an entrance down this well-used walkway?
You think because it is like a heavily trafficked area of stone leading down onto the kind of like the craggy shore of the rocks. This area is a bit more of kind of like an elevated kind of like cliff shore on the edge of the sea. So you think it's actually probably not that far.
We could take a rest. If there's anything might you want to change what spells you had at all, Zephyr, it might be a good chance to do.
That requires long resting.
Well, I know. Are we going to short rest or are we going to long rest?
We going for morning nap or sleep till afternoon?
It might be nice to try and get an idea of what the movement pattern in and out of here is.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Having people keep an eye out while they're on watch during a long rest might be the best way to do that.
Not a bad idea.
Dig out.
Stakeout.
So it sounds like you guys are doing a long rest then?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Alright. You guys keeping the same watches or what?
Sure. Make it easy.
Yep.
Sure.
Usuals.
Alright, as you set up your hut to stake out the area and get a rest, go ahead and make a perception check, people on the first watch.
Oh, that's me.
Woo.
Ooh, disadvantage.
Woo.
Alrighty. Anything between you two?
Sure, I'll say at some point. Okay, so that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it seems like we might have made some maybe new friends.
Maybe.
They didn't stab us, so
Oh, the
I'm willing to consider it a win.
true. I just meant the underwater, but yeah, the mer people, they were kind of cool.
Yeah. We agree. And it
Mm.
seems like we're not going to have to fight them underwater, which is also great.
Yeah. But now there's a bunch of giants nearby. Like a lot.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's probably going to be a problem.
Definitely.
And I don't know what we can do about it aside from, you know.
But I don't think we can run away from giants since we're trying to find things that all giants have.
Yeah. I think that us trying to sneak in is really our only option. It's not like they're going to come walking out.
Something we
Carrying
also,
what we need.
which we also don't have a great track record with. Sneaking.
No, we really don't.
Oh man. It's hard to think positive right now.
We'll make it through. We always seem to manage.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe with everything being so big and us being so small, it'll be easier for us to sneak in.
Oh, like little tiny mice.
Exactly. Perhaps they won't even notice us.
Draw a mouse in the dirt. You're probably right.
We'll figure it out sometime. See,
Okay. So your watch goes off with no problems. You wake up the people for the second watch. The second watch people, perception checks.
Percepting. There we go. There's usual.
Anything between the two of you?
Yeah. Zephyr sort of asked Zaris, that was a thing that happened?
It was definitely new.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole merfolk thing, or whatever the fuck they are. Oh god, that was weird. I've never been called a great warrior or a great anything. That's gonna mess with me for a bit.
Yeah, it kind of confused me a little bit too when they were talking.
Yeah. I mean, my mentor always said that we were, capable of great feats, and that, we're able to, like, do some pretty insane things, but he always said that, we should be using our abilities sparingly and only in the pursuit of maintaining a balance.
I mostly think they were referring to you as the Great Warrior because you were an octopus.
Yeah, there was a whole thing of like when he first started speaking to me. He was like, "Great sea creature, why is it that you were leading these surface people? You're traveling with surface." It was weird.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
You referred to you as great creature of the deep.
yeah, that. I'm not gonna lie, I've only been around like 2 years, so a lot of this druid stuff I'm finding is a bit new.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Oh god. Oh, so that was a different name you gave them. I'm assuming real name.
Yeah, that's my real name.
Think I prefer Zeris.
I'm just used to it now, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, going around areas where people, are looking for me, why the hell would I want to have the same name as somebody they're looking for?
Yep.
So I decided to change it.
Oh. At least you know it. At least you know what you used to go by. That's a win in your book.
Yeah, it took me a minute to remember.
Oh yeah. Believe me, I don't even if you asked, I would not remember if I had a previous name of some kind. Seem like good people though.
Yeah, they did. Went better than I expected.
Yeah. I was totally expecting either pin cushioning to be happening.
Nah, I think we lucked out for once.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, that was also the longest conversation I've had with someone who didn't judge me on sight. Well, assume
Well,
something.
I mean, they did. They saw you as an octopus, so.
Yeah. But they actually believed the druid part as a first.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. A giant
Yeah.
octopus traveling with humanoids.
Yeah.
It sounds believable. They just had no idea what you really looked like, so they might have questioned that a lot more, or even been afraid of that. So it's probably better that you were an octopus.
Yeah, I would imagine swimming construct that somehow knows how to cast spells would not be seen very kindly to, you know, them.
Yeah, it might have actually been threatening to them. So thankfully it wasn't, since they saw you as an octopus.
Yep. So it just reassures me that this appearance is not very good for being social.
I can understand that in certain circumstances, but I mean, I know it's weird coming from me too, but I mean, you got to remain true to who you are. Even
Yep.
though I hid myself for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're not wanted, I be true to who you are.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, just remember that in case there's other circumstances where you think someone might be offended or afraid of what you are. Just take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you have to change how you look, but, it all depends. Like, going into an elf city where they don't trust others. So it's all situational, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm also starting to think maybe a surname might help.
It might. Have any ideas yet?
I think I'll use my mentors. It's the only one I know close enough that would, be interested in taking that name. Yeah. Zephyr the Morel. Not bad.
Yeah. It's not bad at all.
Well, shoot, I have no idea what the fuck he used to do. If we ever get back to civilization, I'll look into that. He was a hermit.
You looking for him again, or just know of him?
When I left, he gave me a question I had to answer while I was sort of on my whole journey thing. Still looking for the answer, but if he's still alive, I would like to be able to give it to him in person.
Well,
End goal. It's an end goal.
well, here's hoping we survive long enough so you can return to him and have that conversation.
Yep. Yeah, he was never one for the easy route. Anyway, I'll get the others up for their watch.
Oh, it is about that time, isn't it? All right.
Well, it would be more the time to wake up Rowan,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna make Josh roleplay as Rowan. So.
Oh, come
Thank
on.
God.
Come on.
So, going on to third watch because nothing happened on second watch. Roll those perception checks.
Did
They did.
Oh, I got Amity.
There's my disadvantage.
Was it just Amity and Rowan on third watch?
yeah?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
surely
okay.
Zephyr.
Technically.
I thought there was a third person. Okay.
Technically, there always is.
Okay.
Unless Nomad shows his face.
So, like I said, I'm not gonna make Josh roleplay Rowan. So, roughly an hour into the third watch, Amity and Rowan both start hearing like a thump sound, one after another, and it gets louder and louder. Rowan goes out to check, as Amity can't really leave the hut. And she reports back that those three giants that you saw their tracks heading south seem to have come back. And one of them was carrying the deer that the giant that died was carrying,
Oh
and
God!
then they all went down into following that path down the cliffside that you saw was well worn.
Okay. They're not coming near us though.
No, they were just staying right on the coastline. They didn't
Alright.
they didn't come anywhere near the trees.
Okay. I'm not gonna do anything.
All right, then after that happens, the rest of third watch goes off with no problems. It's like early afternoon when everybody wakes up and gains the benefits of a long rest.
Wow, full hit points.
Woo,
Woo.
woo.
I mean, we had a rest before we did this, so you should have been full hit points anyway.
Oh right, I forgot about that. But there was also there was the 10 damage.
I mean, you had to change your spells.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You hit
No,
some
he,
rocks. That's
yeah,
right.
he took
there were the
damage
rocks.
from the rocks. Yeah, he was one of the three
Oh,
people
that's
that
right,
took
that's right.
damage. Yeah.
Oh,
Always
that's
the
right.
rocks, guys. It's always the rocks.
Oh, yeah.
One way or another.
Aim for the bushes. All right. So what's the party's plan?
Do we want to try and sneak in?
I mean, we can try. I prepared some pass without a trace.
Rowan can also just do that if you wanted to keep the spell slot.
I mean, that's up to her. Also, I could just send in like an animal to like go scout if you want to.
And don't
Let's do
forget,
that,
I can
actually.
cast invisibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could just like, or we could sneak in and be invisible.
Well,
It
just
might
keep in
be
mind, only 4 of us.
Yeah,
And-
only 4 of you.
it might be a good idea to at least send an animal or some thorn down to see what the entrance looks like, so we don't get to some
Mm-hmm.
huge door with no idea how we're going to get through it.
All right. I now have to find an animal that can speak a language that I know. All right. So, do we want we want something small, right?
Well, you have something small.
Preferably. I can also,
Alright.
you don't even have to burn a spell slot on it. I can send him.
Oh yeah, you could just send Thor.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you like me to help by making him invisible?
If you don't mind.
Okay. Before I cast it, does anybody else want to be invisible during this? It's going to last about an hour.
I mean, I don't typically plan on being.
I was just thinking after our last escapade of when we started being tracked by the elves, we should have cast invisibility on more than just the 2 that went.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Alright, who's the least stealthiest out of all of us?
Who has a negative in stealth?
I don't think anyone has a negative.
No.
Nope. The lowest is a +2.
Well, I mean, I have negatives.
I have a +4.
Excuse me.
I feel like Ramona's stealth is not that good. We may have lost her. I know she was haggard.
Well, if she fell asleep, then I'll say I probably just cast it on her just in case. And if she didn't want it, then I would have skipped her.
Okay.
But since she's not responding, we'll just cast it on her just in case.
Okay. So, Ramona, are you casting it on yourself?
Yeah, I can.
All right, Thorn, and then you can do it on one other person or creature. I mean.
Anyone else? It's your call.
I'm good.
Alright, I'll take it then.
All right, Zephyr. So those are your 4 invisible creatures, and then Thorn goes flying out to go scout it. So go ahead. And... What?
He's gonna be stealthy.
Yep. So go ahead and roll a stealth check at advantage, followed by your perception check.
Well, at least he's not going to be spotted, hopefully.
Yep.
All right. So Thorn goes flying out, following the easily identifiable path, and it leads down along the cliff face on the edge of the water. And he flies for a while and doesn't see anything. And so he starts to come back, and it's actually on the return trip that he sees the huge cave entrance. And you kind of have a thought of like, how the hell did you miss that? It's huge. But yeah, there's just a large cave entrance on the side of the cliff, like just above the water. That you think that's probably where the giants went. There's nothing blocking the cave entrance. There's no one on guard at the entrance at all.
Does it look like it gets covered up by the tide at all?
Maybe at night, but right now it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, hard to tell with that added perception check.
Can I have him just fly up towards the entrance, just kind of land on the side and peer inside real quick?
Sure. He peers inside, and it seems to go off for a while. It's a deep cave.
Okay, I'm gonna tell him to wait there. And I'm gonna tell the party what we've seen, and then ask, should I have him fly in a little bit further?
If you're willing to let him.
All right, so he flies in further, and after a couple twists and turns, he starts to hear the rushing of water. And he comes into a large chamber that a lot of these giants are kind of lounging around a pool of water. And this pool of water seems to be spinning like a whirlpool. And you see that there, one of the giants is chopping up the deer that was brought back and throwing big hunks of meat into the whirlpool.
So sorry, can you just grab the whirlpool part again? It's like in the center of the room, or?
Let me look at my map so I get it right. Yeah, so it comes to a large kind of like chamber in this natural cave. Across from the entrance to this chamber that Thorn is hanging out at, you can see that the whirlpool actually makes up a majority of this chamber, and there's a bunch of giants lounging around it, and then to the right there's like a river that seems to like a subterranean river that seems to feed the whirlpool. You can see there's a couple other giants up the river that way.
Okay. I'm gonna have him fly back.
All right. He does so.
Oh, can I have gotten a count of the giants?
You saw at least 3. I'll give you that.
Okay. Okay. As he's flying back, I'll tell the group what we saw.
Okay.
All right.
Seems pretty straightforward until we get to that chamber, but hard to say exactly how many there's going to be by the time we get in there.
True.
But I mean, taking down that one wasn't too difficult.
No, I'm sure we could do at least a couple at a time.
I wonder if we'd be able to just draw them out a couple at a time.
It's a good idea.
Just walk out and say hi.
Worked last
She's
time.
awake.
Sorry.
So do we want to go in or do we want to try and draw them out?
My vote for drawing.
And then going in later if we need to.
Can you see that first part again? Cut out a little bit.
Oh yeah, sorry. Drawing them out is her method of choice. Plan A.
Okay. So, best way to draw them out.
Can make a noise.
I could send something in to draw them out.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Or we could make a noise out here to draw them out too.
Yeah, because whatever we sent in would need to be fast enough to outrun them, and they're giant.
I could do like an elemental. Things are pretty fast.
I can also throw my voice through Thorn, so I could say things to make noise.
Perhaps we do. Thorn's invisible, right?
Right now, yeah.
Just a thought. I send something in, and Thorn actually he's speaking through it. Make it seem like a threat to this old god of theirs.
That might work.
Yeah.
Be like, you worship false gods. I am here to eliminate whatever the. You know, you'll come up with something better than whatever I think of.
Somebody might have to help me think of something to say.
Then that's also if they can even understand our language.
That's true.
I mean, for all we know, it could go in and you just hear la 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 la, and
Yeah,
I
I
have
was
no idea what
thinking-
it said.
We can just try saying blah 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 blah.
I mean, that works too.
I was thinking more
Hey.
along the lines of imitating animal noises when I suggested this
Mhm.
plan. I'm
Hey,
open
let's
to
not put down any options. How do you spell that?
Are there M-A-U ma.
What do you think? Like, could do like an air, earth, fire, water elemental.
Probably water, right?
I would say water, yeah. They might see that more
Mm-hmm.
a competition.
All right. It's gonna be around for 1 hour, so it could also help us in, a combat scene. It's gonna take me a minute.
Alright.
Yeah, given the time, Zephyr will cast Conjure Elemental.
All right, so you kind of like
Got plenty of the component.
right. So you go over to the closer to the coast and start casting your spell, and after a minute, the water just seems to coalesce into a more dense form that pulls itself out of the water onto the rocks below.
I keep a distance.
I'll be like, with your help, draw the elementals that are in that cave down there out.
The elementals. It's an elemental. You mean draw the giants out?
Yeah, I mean draw the giants out.
Okay. All right. So your water elemental gives like a nod and then goes kind of making its way down into the cave, and a minute or so later, Thorn sees this coalesce of water, this watery form, just kind of like shimmy its way into the cave and start moving up to one of the giants, who sees it. And then the one closest to it runs up and smashes it with its club.
Now, very smart. It's got an AC of 14.
Yep, both hit. So that is 51 points of damage.
Fuck.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This thing ain't gonna be around for long.
Wow.
I communicate to the group.
Wow.
It's not going well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, go.
And then 4 boulders come flying at it from across the room. 2 of which hit. I can't believe I rolled so low on 2 of those.
Those are really bad.
Yeah. And so that's another 42 points of damage from the 2 boulders that hit.
Jeez.
Oh, it is resistant to bludgeoning from non-magical effects.
Yeah, so 26 and 21. So 47 points of damage total.
That's the total it's taken so far.
Yep.
47, you said?
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be around a little bit longer.
Alright. Well, what is the water elemental doing?
It's going to, now that it has their attention, run the fuck out and
Alright.
come this way.
Is it disengaging from the giant that's in its face?
Yes.
Alright. Then the giant catches up to it as it is faster than the water elemental can move.
I'm like taking all of the actions to get the fuck out.
I hope the rest of us are hidden.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've set up an ambush outside.
Yep. So missing on the first strike. Well, I guess sitting on the first strike, missing on the second. Your water elemental takes another 20 points of damage, reduced to 10.
Alright, it's gonna be around a little bit. I don't faith in this thing, but
Is it continuing to disengage and try and run away?
Trying to, it's just moving. All the move.
All right.
Get into that cave entrance.
Giant continues to follow it and beat the shit out of it.
Feel bad for this thing, but it's coming out.
That's another 43 reduced to 22.
Gonna keep moving.
Disengaging again.
Oh, it's gonna dash. It's gonna dash.
All right, the giant will take an attack of opportunity this time.
Yeah.
That's another 25 reduced to 13.
Still alive so far.
It did get ahead of the giant, so this time the giant's just gonna pick up a rock and throw it at it as it's following. Oh wow, that was bad. Another 14 reduced to 7.
It's still around. God, this thing is a sponge. Okay, keep doing its thing. Running.
And then just as the water elemental gets to the entrance of the cave, another boulder hits it for 20 reduced to 10.
Oh, it's still alive.
Oh wow, alright. And you guys perched on the cliff overhead looking down at the cave entrance would see one giant come out.
We got one.
Alright.
We're gonna attack it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Seeing how what happened last time, I'm just gonna say you guys killed the giant.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair, yeah.
we did it.
Okay. This thing took a beating, but it's not gonna last very much longer. One more hit, it's probably gonna be gone.
What if we shout into the cave? Blah, 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 blah. And then that way we'll see.
I mean,
Maybe
they
one
know
of them investigate.
they know something's out here, and their buddy just got killed. So, make it seem like more of a threat.
No, I like it. We only
are the
want them
giants
to
that are
send
still
like one
inside
or two.
What was that, Kayla?
What are the giants that are still inside doing?
You see through Thorn's eyes, like they started to move to follow the other giant, and then like you had to leave Thorn's vision in order to help everybody else kill the giants that came out. And then you kind of like waited for the others to come, thinking that they were following, and then you go back into Thorn's eyes, and I need Thorn to make another perception check. Okay. Thorn, you can see through Thorn's eyes that the giants that had started to follow, he just tells you because he continued to watch, that right when you killed the one that came outside, they just all stopped and returned to the room of the whirlpool and set up a defensive position. It was kind of strange though, because like the cave like curves a lot, and they didn't see you guys kill their friends. It was like they just knew.
Yeah, well, I relay that.
Alright.
There goes both our plan to draw them out one by one and the plan to try and sneak past them.
Great.
Well, Well, apparently nothing can be easy.
Yeah, I think at this point we're
gonna have to brainstorm.
Is there still how many did I see this time? Setting up a defensive position.
Now, excluding the one that left, there are now 4 remaining.
There's 4.
I mean, part of me thinks we could take them.
Also, this guy's not gonna last very much longer. He's got like, ugh.
Yeah, we could probably take 4.
I don't think any more of them are going to follow. It, from what Thorn described, it almost didn't seem natural how they were killed this one.
And we also shouldn't walk into their counter ambush.
I have a question for the DM.
Yeah.
And since I'm trying to be an honest person, if I would have attacked that guy, and I still would have been yeah. God, what am I trying to say?
Concentrating.
Yes, thank you. I would still be concentrated on invisibility. Would anybody else have become visible, like Thorn? Or
Thorn, so what would
is it
happen
just-
is anyone that would attacked would have no longer been invisible. Thorn, however, would still be invisible as long as you're concentrating on the spell.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I wanted to figure
Attacking
that out.
doesn't end the spell; it just ends the invisibility.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Because I'm new at this.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, they don't know that we know that they've set up a for us, so we can counter their counter ambush.
I can go in and throw a fireball right on them, too, if needed. If they're close enough together, of course.
Yeah, and I can do a good old flaming sphere down the hallway.
Does it look like they're close enough together that all 3 of them, like multiple, could be hit by a fireball?
No, taken cover, along like some outcroppings along the stone walls of the chamber. 1 or 2 of them might be like 2 of them possibly could be close enough for a fireball. You're unsure if the cover might affect that or not.
So they're like in there trying to hide.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're not hiding for stealth. They're hiding for cover.
Yeah.
They're clearly not good at stealth. They're more just kind of getting cover.
You might be able to hit 2 of them with a fireball, but they're trying to take cover. They're not trying to. They're just. They're big. They're trying to.
Well, then maybe I could use a wall of fire to burn them out of their cover.
That might work.
That could indeed.
It might help.
Just tossing out options.
Might also help prevent reinforcements from coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess our only choice is to go counter their counter.
Looks that way.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys going in then?
Hopefully they don't counter our counter to their counter.
Well, then we'll just counter their counter with our own counter.
Oh no,
For the counter.
I do my
Sorry.
best to describe the layout of the room to everyone so that they know what we're getting into.
Yeah, don't test me because there are a lot of rocks in this place that can very easily fall on you. All right. So yeah, you describe the room to the party, which will be easy because you'll be able to see in the room. At least for the people with dark vision.
Oh no.
Well, the fire might help.
Yeah, maybe once it gets lit up. Yeah.
It's fine. My plan will stay the same.
Not reassuring.
Don't worry about it.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
All right. So with your plan mostly set out, you guys going into the cave.
Yep.
All right, great. So as you all creep into the entrance of this cave, trying to keep your footing on the slick rocks below, that is where we're gonna end it.
All right.
Okay. And yeah, just as a note, when I cast Wall of Fire, I'll lose concentration on invisibility, so Thorn would become visible. Just so you're aware.
I think at that point it's not gonna matter that much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that would also be my second spell slot, and then I would be out of spells. But either way, I will end the stream here before we get into another quick discussion. So thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys next week.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.